John, how's Josh Kennedy tracking for this week?
Good, yeah, going really well.
Do you think he'll be up for the Collingwood game, or do you think he'll be playing live?
No, I think he'll probably play this week, yep.
Do you have to work out whether it's sub or play? I mean,
yeah, we have to work that out, but yeah, so, but I'd expect he'll be in the squad or in the team.
What are you preferring at this stage? To give him a go early on?
Too early to make that call. We want to weigh up what the whole balance of the team's going to look like first.
I guess what he did in round one would give you some confidence that he could come back pretty much straight away and do a job for you?
Nothing really to do with round one. He's basically trained up, getting ready to play footy. So, yeah, at some point you start playing. So otherwise we keep waiting. So he's ready to go, and it's nothing around. Our expectations are that he comes in and plays his role, does his best for the team.
So the fans will be excited to hear that he's possibly back this week. And how about you as a coach to get back such an important player?
Yeah, it's just good to see him getting the chance to play footy. He's got a big smile on his face. He loves playing the game. That's what he's all about. So, you know, in the real big picture, he's worked his backside off after a really serious injury to want to play footy again. He's back playing.
How much does it change up your forward line now with him back?
Well, Kennedy in our forward line is great for us. Yep. So it means that someone in that forward line probably misses out. So we've got to weigh all those things up. But you know, we've got to pick our best team, and we think he's definitely in our best team.
2 matches before the finals went for Josh. Is it enough to actually, as they play a role, but to get anywhere near his best?
Yeah, it's one of those questions that's at the start of the year. In round one of every year, players get Brownlow medal votes, and they haven't played any footy. So I don't know why it's different if it's later in the year when they play. Someone's going to be best on ground and can be a player who hasn't played much footy before that. So
there's a lot of excitement about Brad Dick this week after his performance on the weekend. Is he a chance to play against Collingwood?
Absolutely, yeah. He's been a chance to play for the last month. You know, we're really pleased with how he's tracking, and yeah, he's on our list and available for selection. As I said, he has been for the last month. You know, we gave him. It was a big thing to give him the opportunity to put him on our rookie list, coming off serious injuries. And our view was not to place any great expectation on getting him back to play this year. It was see if we can rehab him from his injuries and have him available, like finish off a year knowing that he's going to be able to play footy next year and into the future. But he's come along exceptionally well, and the form he's in means he's up for selection like the whole squad.
John, with Josh, the fact that they really troubled Collingwood, North Melbourne really troubled Collingwood last week with 3 tall forwards, that influence your decision to bring him in, say, this week as opposed to give him another week?
No, not really. No. You know, what's the difference in playing another game at East Fremantle versus playing for us this week? There's no real value in him playing another game of waffle football. You know, he's got to step up, and AFL footy is more intense than waffle, but you know, he's good enough to play. So don't expect that he'll be at his absolute best this week, but he'll still be very good.
What have the doctors said about Adam Selwood?
Just it's a normal protocol. He pulled up extremely well, but like with all these things, they do their testing on Thursday or Friday, so he'll do that. But all the indications are that he's had no side effects at all, so no, he's in good shape.
Matty Rose is the other one. Well, he comes straight back in. He's a pretty important player.
Yeah, he'll be available this week, I expect. You know, he trained last week and he wanted to play last week. We elected not to bring him in last week, so he's had training under his belt now and he's ready to go.
When you say available, that doesn't guarantee him selection, though, or
guarantees him being available for selection. Yeah, so he's up for selection, same as Kennedy and Dick and those guys.
Has he done enough though to walk straight back into an Eagles team?
He's fit to play this week. Yeah, absolutely, if he's selected.
Is this the best shape your list's been in all year at this point, all these guys available that weren't in the side last week? Getting close to it. You know, some of the guys on the injury list are younger players in terms of the short-term injuries. So in terms of senior list available, it's probably getting towards most numbers.
Is Nick Natanui a bit sore, John? He looked sore towards the end of the game.
He was last week, yeah. He was a bit sore, so we rested him a bit more.
Was he just having a bad day?
Just a management thing, yeah. Yep.
John, top four obviously is that everyone's talking about getting that double chance. Is it one of those years though, even outside states, where it's so even that it's not the be all and end all? Is that, do you sort of subscribe to that theory that there's...
No, I haven't really thought about it too much. I know the stats say, history says that at the end of 22 rounds, the teams that are sitting 1 and 2 on the ladder, most likely the premiers comes from that more often than not, and a lot more often than not. So it's one of those funny things that the best teams generally win the premiership, and the best teams are measured over a long period of time, over a season. So, but teams you don't have to. You know, you can win the premiership from outside that, whether it's 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th or 7th, whatever. If you're in the finals, you're in with a good show.
Is it possible that this year, though, there'll be other factors that will influence where teams finish 1 and 2? You've got 2 fledgling teams in the competition that are struggling to beat anybody, 2 other teams as well that are struggling to beat anybody. How often you run into those teams has an impact in, you know, a few teams up near the top have played those teams a bit more than other teams. Is it possible that maybe 1 and 2 this year is not as accurate an indication as to who the best team is as it has been in other years?
I think it's possible for sure. Yeah, it is. It's a different environment this year with 2 new teams, and as we know, every season there's 1 or 2 teams, established teams that battle away and don't win a lot of games. So all of a sudden you've got maybe 4 or 5 teams that haven't won too many games this year, and we don't have an even draw. So that can influence people's ladder positions, not only 1 and 2, but 8 and 9, all the way down. So the draw does influence that to some degree. I can't answer to what degree. You know, overall, I would still think that you know, the teams that are up the top end of the ladder, we would all say have performed pretty well and deserve to be in those positions.
What did you make of Collingwood's game last weekend? Was that just a bad one from them? Was it a great one from North Melbourne? Did you see some weaknesses?
Oh, it was a pretty good game. 2 really good teams going at it. I didn't see a lot bad about it. I thought North Melbourne are really up and going. So playing a very good side in Collingwood, and it was a great game of footy.
Did you see any weaknesses in Collingwood that you can expose or were exposed in that game?
We'll search for them. Whether they exist or not, who knows? You know, so what happened in last week's game doesn't really influence a lot about the way we want to perform this week.
Cloak and doors have been down for a long time now. Are they a bit vulnerable there in the forward line?
No, I wouldn't think so, no. No, we've got jobs to do. We're going to just play our absolute best, and regardless of how the opposition are going, we've got to play our best footy.
Scott suggested earlier this week that maybe tagging isn't the best option with Collingwood. Going head-to-head might be better. Is that how you see it?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, either one's a good option. Yeah, there's benefits in both, and both ways there's some downside to it as well.
How do you rate their midfield, John?
They've got some guns in there, yeah. Pendlebury and Swan have been Brownlow favourites over a number of years. Beams has stepped up and heading towards their level, so those guys in particular are in great form.
Do you have to pay specific attention to Swan this week? He came back from a break last year and basically played his way to a Brownlow. He's had a break, a different sort of break.
Yeah, no more attention. If he played last week and had it 45 times versus having a break and coming in and playing, no more attention other than rating him as one of the great midfielders in the comp, and looking forward to our challenge of matching up there.
Are you leaning towards tagging him or just somebody else?
Just going to try and hold him under his season average,
Which is
36, something like that. Yeah.
That'd be a pass mark.
Yeah.
But do you think you will tag him? Is that the plan at the moment? Or?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you. No.
John, what can you tell us about the Mark Worthington situation?
Yeah, he had a kick around and did some ruck work, and I did a lot of footy stuff yesterday. Had a good chat with him about
what his aims and ambitions are, and where we sit as a club and what it means to us. So we've done all that. Now we've just got to sit down and work through what that means for us as a group going forward.
What did you think of his football skills?
Good, yeah.
So did you lean towards probably going towards signing him at some stage, or?
What do you think?
I don't know, he's a good basketballer.
Okay, no, we've got all that stuff to talk through now.
Does it also, I suppose, he's probably a key forward or a ruckman or whatever, you've got Scott Lycett sort of battling around. Does that also come into consideration that you're bringing in another guy that might be taking his spot?
No, well, it's great to have the best and strongest possible squad you can have, and if you've got the ability to make your squad stronger with someone on it, then you would take that, because I've got very, very strong belief that Scott Lycett will be a top-line AFL player. Yep. And if someone comes in and shows that they're better than him, then we're definitely better off. And if he can't quite show that he's better than Scott, then Scott will play and he'll miss out. So, yeah, that will have no bearing on it.
With the age gap, though, John,